Hey there, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back. I'm your host, PattSun, and today we're gonna be taking a look at r/surviving infidelity, where OP exposed his ex-girlfriend's infidelity to everyone they know. Let's begin. I got both sides of a cheating story. Posted by Reddit user HIE Cleveland.
At my first job out of college, I became quick friends with another guy, Scott, 3 years older than me. We would pal around hitting the bars and such in town. As we opened up more to each other, he told me about how his last girlfriend, Jody, cheated on him. He shared after she broke up with him he was heartbroken, couldn't eat or sleep, felt that constant anxiety about it. I had had a similar experience with my first girlfriend when she broke it off with me. Jody worked at the same place as us but in a different building. She was the daughter of a prominent figure in town and her family really liked Scott. They dated for a little over a year and he thought she was the one, until a week before Christmas when she abruptly and without warning broke up with him. It took Scott a long time to get over her, and that was compounded by the fact it came out she was pregnant the following spring. When the child was born, Scott figured out that she had to have gotten pregnant about 4 weeks at most after the breakup. She quickly married the guy and they are actually still together today with a second child. Years started ticking and over that span I met my wife, got engaged, married. She took a job for a year, then switched to where I worked. My wife, Emma, works with Jody directly and they quickly become friends. Scott and I started hanging out less and less as I got more involved with Emma and started spending more weekends with her. We were long distance for about 18 months. Emma isn't shy and asked about Jody's relationship with Scott. Jody stated that while initially the relationship was good, as time passed Scott had more and more red flags. First, he was really immature for 25 years old. He seemed to want to still live a college life. He liked to go out drinking a lot, but always had too much and would piss the bed in his sleep. He didn't really have any plans future-wise and had a lot of deep bigoted opinions. He also didn't put a lot of effort into the relationship, like dates, communication, etc. She was pretty much over it months before finally ending it. She would bring up concerns and he would always play victim, guilt-trip her, all while her family thought he was just great, and would kind of dismiss her concerns if she talked to them about Scott. Jody said her family didn't hide the fact that they were upset she broke up with him. Finally she had enough, knew she just had to end it, take her things and go. She needed to be quick and stern and not show emotion, or she would just get guilted into staying, and that's what she did in December. Not wanting to just sit around wallowing, she took a friend up on an invite to a New Year's Eve party where she met a guy, Carter. They exchanged info that night and had their first official date that week. When Jody started puberty in middle school, she had horrible menstrual symptoms and had been taken to see a specialist. They managed to get her symptoms under control, but through the tests discovered she did have a reproductive issue. I don't remember what, but she did tell Emma. The doctors told her and her parents then that it would be extremely unlikely that she ever conceives naturally. Jody, always thinking she was sterile, admitted to Emma she wasn't the best at using protection and never had been on birth control. Her and Carter's relationship turned sexual almost immediately, and because of Jody's belief they didn't use any form of contraception, and she got pregnant against the odds. They took that whirlwind situation and got married right away as well. 3 years later, they tried and had a second child without much effort, making her question if she really had these complications at all, and thankful that she hadn't accidentally got pregnant in high school or college. Up to the point he moved away, Scott avoided Jody like she was plague. He always believed she had been cheating and that's why she broke up with him. He never once talked about their relationship as having any issues or problems. I had to admit I did agree with Jody's assessment of immaturity. Over our time as friends, I saw that Scott really didn't seem to ever want to grow up. Even with his wife, after a couple years of dating, his first grand gesture was to buy her a promise ring like they were high school sophomores, and he was in his 30s by this point. We're all in our 40s now. Scott moved back to his hometown and finally married his now wife. They have 3 kids. A few years later Emma and I moved on. Jody and her husband still live in the same place. I always think of this story when I hang out in the relationship threads on Reddit, because you only ever get one side of a story. Wonder how many are as vastly different as this one once you get the other side.
Look, OP, I have never heard of a woman telling good things about her ex. Zero. Never encountered it before and most likely never will. So I do think that she did cheat, at least emotionally. I highly doubt that she just abruptly broke up with Scott just so she could stay at home alone and watch Netflix. So for short, she already had another sucker willing to take her in. Also, Reddit user 2donuts4elephants added this excellent story down in the comments.
I've got one for you. Need to hear both sides. A college class with this girl. She and her baby daddy were no longer together but still lived together for financial reasons. But she would talk massive amounts of shit about him, saying how he was so cold to her and that he was openly using dating apps to try to fuck other girls. One day she was crying, saying what a bastard he was because he was gone all night with some girl he met on Tinder. She never outright said it, but she led everyone to believe that they weren't together anymore because of him cheating and being mean to her, and that she was just a totally innocent victim in all of it. Real boo-hoo, woe is me sob story. Everyone believed it. One day he comes to drop off their daughter to mom at school, and I get the other half of the story. Turns out, he loved her with all his heart. They were engaged and happy. Then one day she goes to a party that he couldn't make it to because of work. While at that party, she starts doing coke and ends up getting gangbanged by 3 guys. It was her who wanted it. There was no, oh my god, she couldn't consent. This was before she got pregnant. Later on, he's out with her one day and one of the guys she let run a train on her sees the 2 of them and starts openly mocking the guy, telling him how she loved getting fucked by the 3 of them and how badly she wanted it. Get both sides of the story. Always.
Should I tell my cheating ex-girlfriend's current boyfriend that she cheated on him too? Posted by Reddit user Undercover Redditor.
At the beginning of September 2023, I discovered that my now ex-girlfriend was cheating after 4 years together. Prior to that, I thought we had a good, not great, relationship. I always thought our relationship had no limit to its potential and it was just a matter of time for it to grow. Which is absolutely insane looking back as I type this out. Emotionally, I feel like she would often abuse me verbally by letting her sour mood out on me. Physically, she slapped me a couple of times unprovoked. Her excuse was usually I have childhood trauma, my parents made me do it, which obviously was a poor and unacceptable excuse for hurting your partner. Still, I loved her and accepted her flaws to help her better herself. I considered it my mission to make her happy and heal her traumas. She just didn't want me to, or maybe she just wasn't ready. I don't know. I don't know anything about anything anymore. I poured myself into her. When I discovered she was cheating, it was almost like an overpour occurred and I quickly became empty. I thought I had to give her even more to help her see the error of her choice. I lost myself and now I feel completely drained of life. Like all that makes me see value in myself and the world is gone. What do I do? I'll expand on the breakup and what I've done with my life to move on some other time. Now for OP's first update. We have been together for about 4 years. 2 months before our relationship ended, I noticed signs that she was cheating with someone. She lied, begged, and insisted that I should trust her. Then 2 months went on and I still felt I couldn't trust her. She kept insisting nothing was going on. Turns out, she was meeting a guy regularly and having sex. She had been dating multiple people for at least the past 7 months before our relationship ended. I don't really know how long in total this went on. Could have been a lot more. She never admitted to any of this before I found proof via archived text messages on her phone. When I confronted her, I kinda expected an apology. She turned into a completely different person and let me know in the worst way possible that I didn't deserve more than being cheated on. I meant nothing to her. It has been the worst experience of my life. This person is not the person I knew in the past years leading up to this point. So I am worried about her, even though I know I shouldn't. I want to tell her family and friends, so they know the kind of person she is and how she treated me. That way they can help. Another part of me wants them to condemn her. So I have mixed emotions and really want some advice on this. She has painted a picture of me to her friends and family that I did something wrong. I'm the villain when she tells people about our breakup. The friends she had that knew me don't want to talk to her anymore. My family don't want to talk to her, and my friends don't want to talk to her. I understand why they feel this way, but I am not happy about it. I never talked about her in a bad way. I told them what she did and that I couldn't understand why she would do these things. And now, for OP's final update. Through October and September of last year, I had a period where I would notice signs my then-girlfriend of 4 years was cheating on me. When confronted, she denied everything and made me out to be insane for not trusting her. 2 months went along with this until I discovered that she had been cheating with multiple people. I found archived text messages. She quickly deleted the messages when I confronted her. I saw she had been texting a handful of people, but I didn't have time to confirm more than 2 cheating partners. That's only what I could gather from Facebook Messenger. She could have been using other apps to communicate with these people. I confronted her again and backed up against the wall. She pretty much told me that I didn't deserve better than to be cheated on. I'm sure I have my flaws, but I believe I was a very supportive boyfriend in our relationship and always sought understanding and communication rather than win fights. So I don't believe I deserve to be told something like that. The guy she is with now is one of the affair partners. They went official a few days after I confronted her. In late November, a month into her new relationship, she came and delivered some of my stuff. She noticed a hair on my couch from a previous date I had and the tears started flowing. She sat on my living room floor crying and told me she wanted to run away with me and regrets cheating. I told her this is her own fault and I had warned her many times this would happen. At the end, when she went to leave, I got in my bedroom to get some stuff. She went with me even though she didn't need to. I didn't ask her to come with me or lure her in any way. I will say that during the 3-month I had been doing a lot of self-improvement. So my attraction meter was pretty high that night and I knew that the whole time. I was sitting on my bed and she came and sat next to me. One thing led to another. We didn't have sex. Clothes was being taken off and it was pretty steamy, but I backed off as I started to feel dirty knowing how she had disrespected me, and that was that. A few minutes later she left. The last thing I heard her say was, "Don't ruin anything for me," meaning that I shouldn't tell her new boyfriend. The day after, she was back to hating me again and telling friends and family how insane I was. Across the entire breakup she treated me like I wasn't worth anything. I wanted to murder the affair partners and scream at my ex many times, but I didn't. The reason was that I didn't think it was worth it. I wanted to be a good person and leave with my integrity intact. Also, I didn't see what good would come from doing that. Even though it hurts sometimes that I didn't act much on my anger. If she wants to cheat, I don't think I'm the person that is supposed to stop her. She had to stop herself. If I had to do anything, then there would be no point in the relationship. She has some personal issues that I was trying to help her with. She has lost a lot of friends in the time that I've known her. She latches out physically and psychologically when people confront her about the smallest things, and she will make a big spectacle from nothing. It's like panic get in her system, and instead of controlling this feeling and realizing it's just a feeling, she acts on it immediately. She lied a lot to me and pretty much everyone. As I was trying to improve her well-being and build some confidence she could have for herself, this new guy pulled her back to the person that cheats and lies again. They both navigated the affair, so they planned and schemed for me not to find out. I don't excuse my ex for anything, no matter the mental challenges she might be facing. I wanted her to own her actions, which I don't feel like she never did. Why should I tell the affair partner that she cheated on him too? I am conflicted about this. A part of me wants nothing to do with the situation and just be done with it out of self-respect and self-love. Another part still feels a need to help my ex to see the error of her ways and learn. She was a part of my life for a long time, and it's not like she wasn't good to me at some point in our lives. It's difficult to abandon a person that once I said I would do anything for.
Everything you say to me is pissing me off.
I want to tell the affair partner so he feels what it is like to be cheated on. There are a bunch of reasons to do it and a bunch of reasons not to do it. Why would you or wouldn't you do it?
You see, this is the reason why she had the ability to abuse you for all of those years. You're spineless, OP. Stop caring. Despite everything she has done to you, you still want to be Captain Save-A-Ho and white knight the hell out of her. Pretty pathetic if you ask me. Anyways, in regards if you should tell the affair partner or not, normally I would say yes to telling the other betrayed spouse. But there's a difference here. He's not a betrayed spouse. He's a piece of shit that knowingly had an affair with a woman he knew was in a relationship. So no, fuck him, fuck her, block both of them. They deserve each other anyway. Viewer support is the best way for me to remain independent and continue bringing you these daily videos, which will always be here on my channels for you to watch absolutely free. So please consider subscribing to me on Rumble and on YouTube. Both will be linked in the description box down below. Thanks for listening, everyone. If you even somewhat enjoyed today's story, make sure to give this video a thumbs up, and if you really like it, consider subscribing to PattSun to never miss a future upload. Stay strong.